thinking I know what the hell I'm doing, and now I got to sit here and try and tell them on a video because I opened my damn mouth and said I would do it. God, I got to read all this stuff and learn how to do it so I can at least come across as knowing what the hell I'm talking about. I don't even think I can do that. There's too much in here to know. Christ, it'd take me 30 years to learn all this stuff. Building on the straightest axis, building on a spine, what kind of guides to use, whether it's a turbo guide or a roller guide, but then there's ball bearing rollers, and then there's regular rollers, and there's Bigfoot rollers. God, I'm not going to be able to learn all this stuff. And I got to come across in 15, 20 minutes and do this? This isn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. Good Lord Almighty. This information and this, I need to read this and learn this and get up on it. Abalone inlays. The hell is that? Damn, that crap's nice looking. Damn. Look at that. Get me one of them. Look at the eyes on that baby. Sweet. God, I gotta go through all this. International Rod Building Exposition coming up in February. Scott's Custom Rods, Abalone Inlays, Custom Handles and Grips. New offshore components. Stuart Roller Guides. Yeah, they're alright. Perfection Gimbals. Yeah, this isn't bad at all. God, I gotta learn all this stuff. What the hell am I gonna do? I gotta come across in this video like I'm at least credible. I know something. Which end of the rod do you start with? Building on the straightest axis again. Man, look at all this stuff here. Well, I'll just have to wing it. Come across as knowing what the hell I'm talking about. Hey, sportfisherman.com. Kevin Knox here. You all might know me online as Flatliner. I'm here today, like I said, I'd talk to you about building a fishing rod and all the components that go into building a rod, and go through it step by step with you, and talk about from the very beginning, from pulling the rod out of the wrapper all the way to the end when we put it in the wrapper to ship it out to the customer. Just to give you a little bit of background on me, I've been in business for 26 years. Been building rods, learned down in Hatteras, and then furthermore up in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, from Vince Massetti at Kitty Hawk Bait and Tackle. Learned from him for many years until he went out of business, and carried it on, and been doing rather well. And just took the big step a couple years ago and went into business formally with the government. And but what we're going to do here is, what I'd like to do over the next 6-8 months is put out a video on a regular basis going through how we build these different rods, whether it's a stand-up tuna rod, an IGFA chair rod, one of the Morehead City slob slayers, the 7'10", 80 class CalStar blanked IGFA rods for the big bluefin. We're going to do some speckled trout rods, some vertical jigging rods. Just on the lineup of orders that we have now, we've got some vertical jigging rods that I'm going to do next week. We've got a speckled trout rod that's going out to a customer for a present. So we got a lot going on. We got custom gaffs. I'm going to go into do some videos on how we do our custom gaffs, and it's going to be a exercise and just putting stuff out there and sparking a conversation. Am I saying I'm the guru and I know exactly what to do? No. This is just the way I do it. Every rod builder has his own different methods for doing it, and I can't stress enough from the very beginning that this is just the way that I do it. Other people may do it differently, and that's up to them, and that's the way they were taught how to do it. This is just the way I do it. So sit back and stay tuned, and hopefully you're going to learn a lot from this. And if you have any questions, feel free to post them up online, and we'll get them. I'll get them answered for you, and we can go through it and figure things out. It's a learning process. I mean, once you go through and you do these things about 50 or 80 times, you get comfortable with what you're doing. But until that point, it's all new, and like I was saying in the very beginning, it's all Greek. And you can sit there and look at a book all you want, but until you see something in video and you see it firsthand, that's when it really clicks, and that's when you can come back and say, now I know exactly what they're talking about in that book. So stay tuned. Alright guys, we're back. Got to start off with my Mark Ray special that I got on the wall over here, and then we're going to pan around to the other little special thing I got on the wall over here. Got to picture and frame up my little mask. Done in one room that is clean. Everything that is done here this is my clean room. Everything that I do in the basement is messy and dirty and dusty, and I'll videotape that in a little bit once we get going a little bit further. But as you can see here, I've got some rods in the back that are on hold. But the 5 rods that we have, 5 rods that we have sitting there in the front, these are going to be our 5 stand-up tuna rods that I'm going to be building. Underneath them, you can see I've got my list, or got my stack of components. These are all AFCO Bigfoot wind-on rollers, and these are great guides. The Winthrops are, I think, a nicer guide because you can actually fit a larger, you can fit a 400-pound swivel through those. These AFCOs are a little tight and you can't do that. So we're going to pan around here. This is my rod building area. That's one of my lathes that I have. Everything that I do here is clean, and it stays clean throughout the entire process. It looks a little cluttered. There's just a lot of tools that are used when you're rod building. You can see a pan right down through the rod bench down there. This is a 30-foot bench. You can see here in this drawer, I got all my threads, all of them, and I don't even bother organizing these simply because there's just I'm in here too much doing stuff and getting thread out all the time, so I don't even bother with organizing them. So that's just my organized chaos that I got going on in there. Each one of the lower compartments down here serves as my storage areas as well as underneath. Underneath this bench down here is just mostly cables, but down here I keep a lot of my foregrips, some of my power tools, some of the other instruments that I use in building. Same down there, as well as up here I've got storage, and that's mostly my guides and reel seats that I keep up top there. This is the only area of my shop that actually gets dirty. That's the grinder that I use for grinding guide feet for these guides in preparation for putting them on the rods. And of course another shameless plug for my cover shot from last year for the abalone inlays that I do. Down here on the floor you can see these. Some of these are for the order that we're going to be doing right now. These are my unibutts. I don't keep too many of them in stock simply because they're so expensive. Try to keep the funds in the bank and usable instead of sitting on the floor. Up here you'll see that I've got some blank storage as well as box storage for shipping. Most of these blanks up here are stand-up tuna rods and vertical jigging rods. A lot of them are CalStars that are stuck in there with the plastic bags on the ends. 1 or 2 Seekers, some Jigging Master blanks, and got some hots up there. And then over here I have my printing area. The printing area is where I make all of my labels for my fishing rods. That's a foil fast printer. I can print 7 metallic colors on that printer, and it's really nice because that way I can customize each label as the order is finished, and I don't have to call out and have somebody ship them into me. So what we do first is everything starts here, and then it actually works around the room in this direction. And then once it finishes everything down here, because this is my finish area right here. The finish area is complete with my heated bottles. It's got my jeweler's glasses, you can see right there, for getting up close and personal with the finish, making sure everything's no bubbles or dust or anything like that is in the finish. This is my motor, my drying motor right here. And that's got a reversible chuck on it so I can stop and check and do things as I need to do, my slip clutch. So after everything's done there, then it comes over here back to this table where everything will sit and cure for a day or so before I bag it up to ship it.